Welcome back to another video, everyone. So today I'm doing another video downstairs on my MacBook because there's a spider in my room and I'm too scared to be up there right now. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about time travel and why I don't think it will ever be possible. And when I say that, I'm talking about the idea of a time machine existing. So, a man-made invention that, let's say in 2500, a man-made invention of some sort of time machine that allows you to select a date, past or future, and you can travel there. That idea. I'm not talking about, because I've made time travel videos in the past, people telling me in the comments that it is possible, and if you go into space and you travel at a certain speed, or you go through a time rift, or you warp, look, all that kind of stuff, the scientific side of things, I don't know if it's possible. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking strictly about the idea of an invention of some sort of some sort of device that allows you to travel back in the past or into the future. That will never exist. And here's why. We would have already seen the effects of this device. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say in the year 2500, we finally create a time machine. Well, we would have already seen the results of that, the effects, because let's say someone in 2500 decides to come back to the year 2022 in my living room right now for whatever reason. Well, then we'd be seeing a time traveler from that year. We'd be seeing the effects of time travel. It doesn't matter if time travel in this year, currently 2022, isn't invented yet. It's not been discovered. It doesn't matter because it's someone from a time where it does exist coming back to our time. We're still going to see the results of it. Now, obviously my example is someone coming back to my living room. No one would ever do that. But what I'm talking about is on a grand scale, we would have already seen the results of time travel because we've had hundreds of years now for time travelers to have visited any time period, and we've never seen evidence of a time traveler. And I'm talking about real evidence. I'm not talking about the YouTube videos where they're showing time traveler spotted on camera and it's the blurriest video ever. It's completely edited, or those pictures of someone from, I don't know, the early 1900s and they're on a mobile phone. It's clearly Photoshopped. No, I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about real time traveler evidence. We've never seen any. Like, I highly doubt we've ever seen any time traveler evidence. So, again, if you had access, it's implying that time it's a timeline and everything has already happened in life. Think of right now, we're in 2022, so you could look at us at the end of the timeline currently. But no, if you're talking about time machine, everything has already happened, including the future. So we wouldn't be at the very end of the timeline, would be somewhere, well, we don't know when, humanity is going to end or whatever, but, we'd be somewhere around the timeline because the future is yet to happen. But if you have a time machine and you're traveling all of a sudden from the past to the future, it's implying everything's already happened and everything is on a timeline and you can travel to whichever part of it you want to. And again, we would have already seen the effects of time travelers. We would have already seen people come back because it doesn't need to exist now for us to see the effects and the results of it. It makes sense, right? We would have already seen evidence of a time traveler if it existed. And I don't know whether or not I would have wanted time traveling to exist anyway. I mean, think about like the kind of havoc that could be caused. I mean, you've got that classic idea of, what if a time traveler came back and killed Hitler before he did anything bad? I mean, who knows what that would have, I mean, I don't even know what that would look like. Like, where will where will we be today if World War II never happened? Like, what would the world look like if World War II never happened? Because that was a pretty big event in my opinion. It kind of changed a lot of things, didn't it? You can't imagine these things. And no one ever talks about the idea of an evil time traveler. It's always, I'll come back and prevent World War II. What about an evil time traveler? What if someone genuinely just wants to cause havoc? What if someone genuinely just wants to see people suffer and just the world to go to shit? In fact, maybe that's what happened. Maybe, a good time traveler came back to prevent World War II and then the bad guy came and killed the good time, I don't know. But no, I mean, I'm just, waffling at this point. But no one ever talks about the consequences of time machines because you know, we talk about the alternate possibilities and how it would affect. I mean, how would that work? What if a time traveler came back, killed Hitler? What would that do to our timeline? Because it's not just going to erase memories of World War Two. It just can't work like that. It can't do. It just can't. It's not possible. How would that affect it? But again, yeah, I mean, you know, evil time travel, isn't that a cool concept? Well, not if it was a reality, but isn't that a cool concept for like a movie or something? I mean, it probably already exists, but someone coming back to actually want to cause shit with their new abilities of a time machine or a time traveler. Um, you know, I think of it like a video game. Like it'd be a cool video game concept if like you had access to a time machine. You can go to different periods of time, and you can carry over certain things from different timelines. So maybe you could take like modern weaponry and technology to any time period in the past. I think that'd be just pretty cool to see how people react to it and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just think that'd be pretty cool. Um, but yeah, no one ever really talks about that side of time traveling. But it's just a bit of a confusing topic to speak about because, again, you don't know if someone did change something as a time traveler, which could easily be done. If you can come back to the past from the future, that alone is dangerous with what you know, what you could say to people, what you could do with your actions could completely change things. So how would that affect our current timeline and you know what we're living in? I just can't even imagine how that would work. But I think that's all I have to say about that topic. That's why I think time machines will never exist because we would have already seen people come back. We will, you know, unless they're really good at hiding their identity, and not proving that they're a time traveler. Um, I don't think there's any. I think we would have already seen people. All right, I think that's just how it is. Again, I'm not saying that you know, because I know some people do believe in time traveling. Some people do believe it's possible. At least I've read it in my comments before. People saying, you know, well, it does exist because well, if you go into space and you travel at a specific, you know, I'm not talking about that. Okay, maybe that doesn't. Maybe that can work. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I'm not very knowledgeable in the area. Maybe that is a thing. But yeah, the idea of a time machine existing in the future, it's not a thing. Never will be, because if it did get invented, doesn't matter when it is. Could be 10,000 years into the future. We would have already seen the effects of it, unless people from that time period just decided to never come back to this time period for whatever reason. Maybe they decided never to come back to the past to 2020 or 2022 or any other year prior to this because what's the point? But I somehow doubt that. You know, if you have the ability to a time machine, I feel like going to the past. I feel like going to the past will be more interesting than going to the future because I don't know. There's just so many different time periods that you might want to know more about, whether it be millions of years ago or simply, like I said, World War Two. I don't know why you'd ever actually want to go and live through that, but you know, just to check it out, at least knowing that you can time travel back out of it whenever you want. Yeah, I mean, we've lived through some interesting times. Let's just say that you know you would have wanted to have come back to experience a bit of as a time traveler with that ability. And I just think, again, we've never seen evidence of a time traveler, so that means it never exists in the future. So let me know down below what you think about this topic, and definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all in my next video.